Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy podcast. Welcome back to a brand new video. I'm hearing so many Manchester United fans very confident that they will pick up a point or three at the Emirates Stadium. I actually disagree. Like I've said in my prediction, Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1-0 at the worst case scenario. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1. I don't see them come here and pick up a point. I just don't see them do anything at the Emirates Stadium. They will shock me, they will surprise me if they actually do. So in this video, I'm going to be doing the analysis of the game, why Arsenal will beat Man United, and how actually we will beat Manchester United. The way we play this campaign, although many people, including myself, are not convinced about chance creation and the final third and the cutting edge in the final third, I think we are pretty much decent. I think we are having so many positives in games rather than the negatives. So Man United, as they come into this game, they've got to be wary of the lion that is at the Emirates Stadium. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. What would you love to see? What changes would you love to see Mikel Arteta make? Zinchenko probably coming or not. In my opinion, Zinchenko, this is not his game. But he would be very, very, of course, it would be very crucial when it comes to chance creation, when it comes to dominating the midfield and things like that. Now that Thomas Partey is out, Zinchenko would be a very good player inverting into midfield from left back. But of course, that means that Anthony and Marcus Rashford could exploit the space in behind. And in this video, we actually don't want that. So let's get into how Arsenal will beat Manchester United. So this is my 11 that I think is most probable to start. Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Saliba, Benjamin White, Viera, Rice, and Odegaard in midfield. Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, not Leandro Trossard, really, and Gabriel Jesus. That is my starting 11. Ramsdale in goal, obviously. So one thing we know about Man United this campaign, and probably last campaign as well, is when you play such a system, they will be always trying to target the players in behind, right? They will try to target this space in behind, because players like Tomiyasu will definitely push up a little bit, and Arsenal will shuffle into a back three, as always we have done. Man United will be looking to exploit this space here. So let's just make Manchester United wide, all right? So Man United will always try to exploit this space in behind, and that is something Arsenal have to work on. That is something Arsenal have to actually make sure it doesn't happen. Many teams are actually doing that to us this campaign. I've seen Nottingham Forest, I've seen Crystal Palace, I've seen Fulham as well. All the teams this campaign are trying to target this area. When Arsenal push up a little bit high up the pitch like that, so they will get a runner. For Fulham, it was Pereira. For Crystal Palace, it was Eberechi Eze. For Nottingham Forest, it was Brennan Johnson, right? So what they do is they will play a player, they will place a player in between Gabriel, probably, if he plays, and Saliba. And then they'll play a long ball from these areas above our midfield, above all our players, and then it drops into this area here. And because Brennan Johnson is quick, and because players like Pereira are quick and very, very fast, he can easily spin in behind and get onto this chance. We saw that against Nottingham Forest. They had a very quality chance, but Brennan Johnson didn't actually bury it. So the first thing we have to do, if we want to beat Man United, do not allow them exploit this space. Why? Of all the teams we've played this campaign, of all the teams we've played so far, Man United are more dangerous on the transition. Man United have better players, and they have the quality to punish should you give them those reckless chances. So that is number one, the space in behind. And how do we minimize the space in behind? In my opinion, it's a little bit going to be difficult now without Thomas Partey, but I would say Gabriel coming back into the team to play that kind of solid centre-back pairing. Ben White not going high up the pitch, but just staying around these areas. And Tomiyasu as well, not going very, very deep into midfield, but staying around these areas. That means that each of them will be able to recover whenever Man United try to break through. Okay, so our back four doesn't need to be a little bit high up the pitch. It needs to be a little bit deeper in this game. Obviously, for that matter, it means Odegaard can drop into these areas here. Let's just get the triangle or the oval. So he can drop into these spaces here, Martin Odegaard, which he actually does very, very well. And he can pick up the ball just to facilitate build-up. And then Declan Rice can drop into these spaces around here. When Gabriel Martinelli stretches the pitch, Declan Rice can drop into these spaces here and then progress the ball high up the pitch as well. So I don't think we will need our defenders to progress the ball. Odegaard and Declan Rice are just enough for the task for us to progress the ball high up the pitch. And of course, when we do that, it means we are not going to be committing many players up to this line. Actually, for purposes of this game, I think Mikel Arteta needs to be very, very clear. No player, right? No player should go beyond this line. No defender should go beyond this line. Like, beyond that area, beyond that zone, all our defenders should be coming and stopping on this zone, right? Around there. Right? Because what this does is it's easy to set an offside trap. That is first and foremost for a player like Marcus Rashford, for a player like Anthony or Garnacho. It's easy to set an offside trap. But also, if you have these players stopping around here and the ball is played in behind, sorry for that. So let's say Onana plays the ball in behind. Just want to pick up the ball. There you are. So if Onana plays the ball in behind into this space here, you have so many players, you have so many options that can come back and recover the ball, right? So right here you have Tomiyasu can actually be coming back. You have Gabriel who will be coming back. You have Saliba who will be coming back. And you have Ben White as well who will be coming back as well. So that's what I want to see from Arsenal this evening. A more organized defense, a more organized backline, a backline with a lot of discipline, not traveling and not creating spaces a lot for the team to actually suffer those transitions. The other thing we've got to do with Man United is generally you've got to stop the transitions, right? You've got to stop their transitions. So if you remember last campaign, when we played them at the Old Trafford, Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes combined with Marcus Rashford to destroy Arsenal. We played well, we dominated the game, we even went for 3 points in that game, and we eventually walked away with none. The moment the game was 1-1, Mikel Arteta got excited, brought on Fabio Viera, brought on all these other players, and we allowed Man United the time, the space to pick passes and just break through our defensive lines. So how do we stop the transition? Because Man United this campaign, that is what they are all about. Transition, breaks, counter-attacks, whatever you want to call it. That is their game plan. So the first thing you've got to do, and I think Mikel Arteta already knows this, is you've got to take Bruno Fernandes out of the game. That is something that is not going to be very, very easy, right? So this is going to be our shape, more like in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 with Saka pushing high up the pitch and Gabriel Martinelli pushing up high up the pitch with Gabriel Jesus as well. But the good thing here is because we don't want Tomiyasu to invert into midfield, to leave this space around here, it will be a little bit, hurting to leave that kind of space there. What we are going to do is allow Tomiyasu to stay a little bit deeper, but allow Gabriel Jesus to drop into the midfield, Fabio Viera in this space here, and then Gabriel Jesus around here. So you're going to have that box midfield, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we're going to have that box midfield, and it will help us dominate games. Now, where Fabio Viera is, it could be anyone. It could be Kai Havertz, it could be... do we have options? It could be Emil Smith-Rowe, it could be Leandro Trossard, depending on what the manager actually sees fit. But what the box midfield actually will help us to do is it will give us numbers in midfield to overpower Manchester United in numerical form, right? In numerical terms. So, for example, if they play Casemiro in midfield, and they played Eriksen, and they played Bruno Fernandes, right? Don't mind the numbers. Just look at what we're doing here. So they will have three players in midfield. Obviously, Bissaka can drift inside. Sergio Reguilon can drift inside. If he plays there, Diego Dalot can drift inside. So they can have that extra man dropping from right back into midfield or dropping from left back into midfield as well. But the one thing that you will trust with Man United here in this game, they will not commit so many players to stop Arsenal's midfield prowess, because they know that actually leaves them a little bit actually more susceptible to the attacks and the lethal runs of Martinelli and Saka. So I expect Man United to have a full-time defender on Martinelli. They will have a full-time defender on Saka as well. That is going to be to our advantage, okay? That's going to be to our advantage. So because we will have a numerical advantage, Odegaard, Rice, Viera, and Gabriel Jesus forming that kind of box midfield, it means we have one more player who will be free every time. So if the ball is around here with Declan Rice, Odegaard can shift across, and Fabio Viera can shift across to form that kind of triangle that we know Mikel Arteta always loves. And if the ball actually shifts to Fabio Viera, then Declan Rice can drop into the defensive midfield, Odegaard can drop here, and then Gabriel Jesus can drop here, forming another triangle as well. So because we love triangles, because we love playing in those boxes and mini diamonds and mini triangles, having a player like Gabriel Jesus and Fabio Viera up top is actually going to help us. But how do we stop the transition with that domination? It's easy. Having 4 against 3 means that you have every Manchester United player covered. So if Casemiro has the ball right here, Fabio Viera can come to press him, all right? Or Kai Havertz can come to press him. Then Odegaard can be pressing Christian Eriksen, can be on top of Christian Eriksen there, and then you might have Declan Rice closing down Bruno Fernandes. So Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes taken out of the game. That means that one of their players, that is either Rasmus Hojlund or Rashford, has to drop from around this area into the midfield, just to provide support. And that means that Saliba can also walk with them and just make sure that they don't have that space. So with Man United, the moment you allow them space in behind, the moment you allow them to drift in behind, they will hurt you, okay? So Arsenal having that kind of box midfield means that we can lock them in the box. We can just lock them, right? Rice on Eriksen, Odegaard on Bruno, and Gabriel Jesus or Fabio Viera on top of Casemiro. Don't allow them get that space. Don't allow them, pass the ball. Just don't allow them. Okay, the other thing we've got to do is stop Bruno Fernandes and Christian Eriksen. I've just explained how to do that. We might not need a full-time marker for those two players, but we will need to be very clever and very, very intelligent. How about the space on their left-hand side? Has anyone noticed that Arsenal could actually exploit Manchester United's space on the left-hand side? So let's get back this to normal. Let's get back the players into position. Rice, Odegaard back where they belong. Fabio Viera in the 10, and Gabriel Jesus and the rest of the boys. So the Man United players could actually be out of the team for now because the role is done. Their role is done for now. Okay. So Sergio Reguilon is not the best defensive left back you can ever have. Diego Dalot on the other side is not the best defensive left back. He's not even a natural defensive left back as well. Okay, so what Arsenal can do here is exploit this space here, right there. So because Sergio Reguilon is such a player that loves to be on the ball, he will be traveling, and I expect him to actually operate in these areas here some of the time. Bukayo Saka could have a very interesting run. Bukayo Saka could have a very interesting evening, this evening, right? And we've got to target the space here. And of course, even if Man United, see where the weakness is, and pair up Lisandro Martinez with Sergio Reguilon to stop Saka, it means you have another space around here opening up where Lisandro Martinez is going to be coming from. And that is where I don't want actually Jesus to be occupying that space. I want Fabio Viera to be occupying that space, or Kai Havertz, or even Martin Odegaard. When he makes those late runs, he can actually be occupying this space, okay? So the left-hand side is going to be a very key area for Arsenal, because we know Bissaka is unbeatable. Like, you just can't beat him in 1v1. You don't have to waste your time. You're not going to beat Bissaka in 1v1. What do? You exploit the space on the left-hand side where there is Sergio Reguilon, and when Lisandro Martinez drops a little bit wide to help him out, then you exploit the space behind Lisandro Martinez. That is how we beat Manchester United. We've got to stay compact as well, like we've always been. Just stay compact so that when they pick up the ball, you are already onto them. Our PPDA has to be absolutely elite today, right? The passes per defensive action for Arsenal today have to be absolutely, elite. You cannot allow them have like 9-10 touches. They don't need 9-10 touches to hurt you. They need 2 touches. Bruno gets it, plays it over the top for Marcus Rashford. Rashford runs onto it and finishes. So what do? We have to increase our PPDA in order to decrease their chances and their touches. They get the ball, we are all over them. We get the ball, we use it to do whatever we want. But of course, the other things are, you've got to stop the mistakes and you've got to take your chances when you get them as well.